Peace, everyone. This is your host again, as usual. This is Limitless. And again, this is that show, Limitless Talk, where we talk about everything from politics, economics to propaganda. And of course, you know, we're heavily focused on crypto assets because we know the digital economy is the future. So anything we do, you know, we have to touch on that as well. But in general, we like to just discuss what's going on in our world and, you know, the necessary steps we can take to make sure we are in a good position. So, without further ado, I hope uh, everyone's been keeping well. You know, the weather's a bit shit, but it's gonna get better in due time. So a lot's been going on, guys. From the old current crazy economy that we're in. We're barely there's barely any growth in the market. Everything is being propped up. We've touched on that several times. Uh, the several distractions from COVID to the war within Russia and Ukraine. All bunch of excuses to basically print money and basically prop up the market. And at the same time, we know parallel to that, they're working on the digital infrastructure to bring in automation to basically replace everyone. Hence why this whole system is being basically bashed on, to basically create this new two-tier system whereby you just have the extreme haves and the extreme have-nots. So it's a crazy system, guys. But anyways, let's look at the market. Obviously, because it's a weekend. Weekend is always, a very positive day for the market because there's always because we know the market closes on Friday, so there's enough money, enough liquidity to basically hold the market up. Remember, guys, nobody's running this market. This market are basically controlled by algorithm. They literally run 24/7. But obviously, you can't trade within the actual, closing hours. Like during close business hours, you can't actually trade. But the market is still operating. The algorithms are still moving funds about, doing their thing. Nothing new. So hence why we're seeing uh, this right here. So you look at the U.S. market, nice Dow Jones, S&P 500, and Nasdaq, nice percentage up, 0.4%, 0.3%, 0.2%. Nothing major, but it's still on the positive side. Again, you look at the European market, same thing. Remember, all these guys are dealing in dollars. You look at the Asian market, same thing. Uh, Forex, these are all the currencies. You see euros down, pounds down. You understand? You got the dollar up. Rates, and of course, rates are just flat. And again, it's because it's the weekends. But as we can see right here, all the 10-year yields, US 10-year yield is almost at 2.5%. The market seems to be loving it right there. And you look at futures aren't doing so great. So it is what it is. And the crypto market as well. Hey, again, the only thing holding all of this up, guys, is basically uh, the quantitative ease in the repo market. That is pretty much what's holding this market up. You understand what I'm saying? If we look at the Bank of England, they're still telling us inflation is 6.2%, and their target is 2%. Current bank rate 7.5%, and that's the base rate. Well, guys, we know inflation is way higher than that, and we know the bank rate is still going to shoot higher than that. But they're not ready to let the economy free fall yet. It's free falling, but they're not ready to let it just roll over on its head and bam, break into pieces. So yeah, uh, we look at the Feds. If you look here, this is the chart of the New York Federal Reserve Bank of New York. This is like, the headquarters of all the Federal Reserve system in America. And if you look at this is basically the money they've been printing over, since let's say beginning of the year up to date, more or less. You understand what I'm saying? And the last they did was on April 1st, which was Friday before the market closed, and they did 1.6 trillion. So, guys, we need to understand what's going on in the market. It's crazy what is going on. All right, it's absolutely criminal. This money they printed it out of nothing, and they do this every day. You see that 1.8. It seems like the repo starting to increase again. You understand what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep an eye on this and see exactly what they're doing. And of course, all of that money is holding on the market right now. But we know once the market opens up tomorrow, which is Monday, uh, which will be the 4th of April 2022. This recording is being done on the 3rd April 2022. So we know the market's gonna it's gonna take a quick nice dump, but we know we've got open interest coming. Currently, using BTC as a benchmark, open interest is not showing us a positive outlook. But again, we'll keep an eye on this and see what the open interest is like once the market open. You understand? Uh, Currently, right now, you look at the futures price and the price index, slightly in the positive zone. So what we might see is we might see this rise further, during the week, but that will all depend on whether this go up. If this go up, then we'll see the open interest rise. So, uh, guys, moving on to the funny articles. Right now, we've got CTAM telling us that the UK economy flirting with recession amid escalating inflation. Guys, we're already in a recession, okay? If these guys aren't printing money, remember, the entire world's wealth currently is, you know, uh, is backed by the US dollar, the petrol dollar. You understand what I'm saying? So once all the money printing stops, you're gonna see that we are already in a recession, guys. There's no growth, and that there ain't gonna be growth for 5, 10 years unless you go to the emerging market. The emerging market, they're nice, you know. That's why part of the plan is to go international, to look for opportunities. Anyone really staying within the UK, this ain't the time to be here anymore. You understand what I'm saying? All the wealth is being shifted out. So we've got escalating inflation is threatening to throw the UK economy into dangerously close recession territory, reveals two closely watched survey. Guys, we already know the UK has a trade deficit, and the debt to GDP ratio is well, well, well above the recommended, ratio. So we know it's only a matter of time. By the time you look at all the major economies, especially the G7 economies, just look at the projection, okay? And one thing we need to remember is the projections are never ever accurate. They just forecast. That's all it is. It's all forecast, okay? It's the best guess based on data, but the reality is usually different to the forecast. And we know these data are manipulated in order to, convince the masses that things aren't as bad as it looks, but hey, it's worse, okay? It's worse. Moving on, we've got investors should stop listening to Bank of England's rate guidance, Deputy Governor says. So, investors to stop listening to the Bank of England guidance on the path of interest rates, a member of the central bank's rate setting committee said today. Guys, we know the only reason rates is still where it's at right now is because a lot of the money being printed is being pumped into the corporation. All right, and a lot of these corporations, they they also have bills to pay. You know, they all have credit card loans and stuff like that, just like normal day, everyday person. You understand what I'm saying? And the higher the rate goes, the higher their bill will go. And guess who they'll take it out on? They will take it out on their employees, on and the consumers, right? Because they're gonna they're gonna pay the employee shitty wage, and at this or get rid of them altogether and move towards automation, which we know that's what they're working on, which is where they're going to go once this whole economy kaput. And the other way they're gonna take it out is to basically jack up the prices of goods and services that they produce. You understand what I'm saying? So it's it's exactly what's going to happen. But in terms of stop listening to the Bank of England in terms of rate, of course we're gonna watch what they're doing. We're not going to listen to what they're saying. We're going to watch exactly what they are doing. That's why it's important to listen to the committee meeting or at least read the minutes to know exactly what they're planning to do. But we know right now they are not ready to raise rates ridiculously. When we see rates start spiking consecutively, as in they're gonna change rate without even announcing it, that's when we're in trouble. All right. So next we've got BlackRock president. Entitled generation should prepare to sacrifice amid surging inflation. Now they're starting to put it in our heads that there's shortages coming, right? BlackRock's Rob Capito said an entire generation should put on seat belts as the economy feels the impact of high inflation. Guys, we ain't even seen anything. You understand what I'm saying? We haven't seen anything. Okay, all those things, will take a while to manifest. From the point at which the disruption was caused. So all the trapped ship that we saw in 2020, the measures of COVID, all of that, it's creeping up on us now. You understand what I'm saying? And it's only going to get worse. And they've already got a scapegoat. It's COVID. It's the trapped ship. It's this. It's that. It's the war. It's everything but the fact that they're printing money, excuse me, and they're buying asset at astronomical rate. You understand what I'm saying? At astronomical rate. They're just purchasing. They're printing money out of guys. Let's get this for our score, right? They're printing money out of nothing. Okay, they're using it to buy assets, goods. Okay, assets, tangible asset, proper asset. That's what they're using this money to buy. You understand what I'm saying? And what is that doing? That's inflating the economy. Okay, there's more money in circulation and not enough goods. You understand what I'm saying? Not enough assets to go round. Okay, which is pushing up prices because these people with the money in their hands, they're like, I can afford this now. I can afford to sell this for more. You understand what I'm saying? Because they've got more cash in their hands. So they're going out there and they're buying up assets, okay? And everyone else, especially the middle class, is being pushed down further, further, further down. Hence why this is not the time to say you want to be saving money. Don't get me wrong, raising rates will also benefit, money savings, but the gains you're gonna make from the interest rate hike is going to be cancelled out via inflation. You understand what I'm saying? The most they'll raise rates up to will probably be right now it's at 2.5%. When we start seeing rates go higher, that's when it's starting to get crazy. Meaning inflation is going higher as well. So you see how, the gains you're gonna make from your savings is literally gonna be cancelled out via inflation. So this is not a time to be saving. We need to be investing in assets that's basically a hedge against inflation. So that could be crypto or investing in commodities. Commodities and crypto are the main hedge against inflation. You understand what I'm saying? But in terms of crypto, while the market is falling, crypto is going to fall as well. But crypto will rise afterwards. You understand what I'm saying? So those who are in crypto, they'll make gains afterwards. But those who are basically just sitting in, central bank fiat currency, yeah, they're gonna be demolished completely. You understand? So moving on, we've got millions drained from Ethereum DeFi protocol. Inverse Finance. Inverse Finance was hacked on Saturday. That was yesterday. The hacker has already moved over 14.6 million through Tornado Cash. Guys, I can't stress this enough. A lot of people will lose their money. Hence why safeguard yourself by dealing with a private wallet. Okay, don't don't leave your money on the exchanges and think your money is safe and you know nobody's gonna nothing's gonna happen to it, guys. There's no regulation in place that actually safeguards you when these things happen, which we're gonna go into later on. So uh moving on to some uh crazier news, that a lot of us probably thought is no longer going on, is the COVID-19 in Asia. Right now, we've got Hong Kong's COVID-19 battle as brain drained economy as house prices are forecast to fall. So, guys, once the market reaches, its height and productivity is low, everything is low. There's no things aren't being replenished. We're gonna see that they're gonna introduce automation, so we're gonna go through high inflation and then high deflation. You understand? Extreme inflation and extreme deflation, hyperinflation, hyper deflation, however you want to put it. You understand? And that's what is going on right now in Hong Kong. But again, we know the narrative. There's always gotta be a scapegoat. There's always got to be a scapegoat, except for how they've been running the economy. You understand? Moving on, we've got Putin signs order confirming ruble requirement for gas payment. European nations will have to pay for gas supply from Russia in rubles after the country's president Vladimir Putin signed an order enforcing the requirement on foreign buyers. Now, a lot of European countries have been talking about, especially here in the UK, they've been talking about how the government have been telling businesses to review their energy contract, and make sure they mitigate the risk that's associated with any contract with any Russian oil or energy company. But we know there's nobody else to fill that void. They look into UAE, they look into some other OPEC, oil producing economic countries, but we know those guys can't fill the void, okay? The prices will still be high. Russia, geographically, is closer, which means, it'll be cheaper to transport the goods, to where they're needed. If we start looking at UAE, and the OPEC and the other OPEC countries, it's gonna get expensive very very quickly, especially with the sustainability agenda going on, to go green and stuff like that, guys. Um, there's no way out of this. All right, the bed has been laid, and we're just gonna have to lie in it like that. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of the European countries think this guy is bluffing, but I don't think he's bluffing. Okay, I don't think he's bluffing, because look at this right here. This is uh, an article by a political analyst, you know, or should I say journalist. It says, now we're going to fuck them all. What's happening in Russia's elite after a month of war? Sanctions and propaganda have rallied even those who were against the invasion around Putin. Guys, you should look. You should locate this article, Fari Daily, and basically read it. It's very very interesting. You understand what I'm saying? So this right here, disclaimer: this article could have come out earlier, but I wanted to gather as much information as possible to make sure I wasn't being manipulated. I didn't want to use yet another profane headline, but after talking to many people, I realized that this quote really says a lot. Again, I will say that I am not evaluating the words of my sources from a moral point of view, but only recording what's happening. Guys, uh, the main thing with this is right here. Since they adopted sanctions against us, we're going to fuck them. Now they'll have to buy rubles on the Moscow exchange to buy gas from us. But that's just the beginning. Now we're going to fuck them all. Guys, look, this man right here ain't joking. He's not joking at all. And we know all of this is planned, the world order is changing. Okay, the ranking of superpower is changing. All right, and that will affect the economic landscape. How things are set up. You know, right now the dollars and euro is widely accepted around the world. Moving forward, the dollar and the euro is going to take a serious, serious backseat. Okay, and the emerging market like Russia, China, Africa, South America, you know, the Caribbeans, they're going, Asia, they're going to come up really, really fast. All right, that's what's going on right now. Okay, moving on. A lot of people didn't know about this one, but this is another political move to pay attention to. Israel hosted a Negev, or is it Megev or Negev, a Negev summit, which was basically to reaffirm the Abraham Accord that was signed, the peace deal that was signed during President Trump's time as the president of the United States. So the Negev summit basically took place not too long ago again. This says 2nd of April. I think it happened before that, last weekend or something like that. So we got Israel host an unprecedented summit with Arab leaders. It was long on symbols but short on promises. Okay, guys, these guys are all fooling themselves. All right. I don't, as much as people want to say there will be peace in the Middle East between, the Arab states and the Israelis. I don't see that happening. Okay, they don't trust each other. All right, because they're all still doing things that clearly shows that they don't trust each other. You know, by still carrying out military operation within the Palestinian um, land, you know, and the Arabs basically still saying, the Israelis are not welcomed here. It regardless of the image the leaders would want to put up. If you look at what's going on the ground, it speaks of something totally different, you know. But let them fool themselves, you know, and we'll see how this ends. It'll be interesting. Next, we've got IMF warns that sanctions against Russia threatens to weaken the dominance of the dollar. IMF actually released a report on this one. I should have brought the report out as well. But they basically talked about how, the US dollar is losing dominance uh, as international form of payment amongst nations. And the Chinese digital yuan is now taking lead. You understand? And when they start bringing articles like this out and start releasing report on stuff like this, guys, just know the deal is done. Okay, these people don't tell us anything that they're not planning on doing. Okay, they basically tell us what they are doing, but they always say in a way that, oh, it's not happening yet, but it's likely to happen. They always don't say like it's 100, but guys, it's happening. It's happening. You just have to look in the market, look at your environment, and apply your logic. You understand? We've got next growth in UK manufacturing sector plummets to 13-month low. Guys, this is only gonna happen more and more. Growth in the UK's manufacturing sector has plunged to its lowest level in more than a year due to the impact of soaring inflation, supply shortage, and the war in Ukraine. Guys, we're gonna hear the same thing, okay? You're gonna hear COVID, you're gonna hear inflation, you're gonna hear shortages, you're gonna hear war. But one thing they would never talk about is what is causing all of this. And it's simple. It's the money printing. It's the money printing. They're printing money, okay? And at the same time, the measures in which they're taking to handle certain situations that's arising globally, like the pandemic. All right, you cannot shut down economies and not expect shortages. The whole idea of an economy is to produce something, to produce what we need. So if we stop production, what happens? Then we don't have what we need. It's just that simple. It's basic shit. Basic shit. This is why the latest spring statement for 2022, where the Secretary of Treasury, Rishi Sunak, basically talk about the plans for the UK moving forward for the year. And the main things here are economy and public finances, helping families and businesses, policy decision, tax plans, and so on. And the main thing for me is, I've read this in full, but just to give you guys a gist, it basically talked about all those things you saw in the table of content. It touched on the uncertainties in the market, like the war, and how that is affecting everything. Also, the sanctions they put uh, on Russia, and how that is going to inevitably affect the entire eurozone and the world as a whole. All this jargon, and I'm just there like, okay, if you guys know this, why are you doing it? Okay, why are you doing it? But the main important thing for me here is uh the forecast. So, growth summary of the OBR Central Economic Forecast, percentage change on year earlier unless otherwise stated. So right here, look at this GDP growth 2021, 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26. You can see it's more or less in a decline. And again, guys, these are all forecasts. This expect to be lower. Okay? Expect these numbers to be ridiculously lower than this. Guys, there will be no growth. I don't know how to stress this enough. This is a downtrend. There will be no growth for years. Okay? Okay, guys? Look at fixed investment, business investment. You see how business investment is reducing? Yeah, there will be no growth, guys. Okay? Look at this net trade reducing. Okay? Changing inventory. Okay? Reducing zero. All right, guys? Pay attention to these numbers. Consumer price index inflation. Okay? Check this out. Inflation is dropping as well. This number right here, to me, is looking like, because we know ISO 2002 is coming, we already know there's a bit of automation already being implemented right now. Certain organizations, businesses, corporations have already started implementing, automation. So we will see inflation rise and fall as time goes on, but there will still be no growth. You understand, guys? Unemployment, employment, boom, 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 right? And unemployment, boom, 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 boom. Productivity, output per hour, reduce, reduce, reduce. You understand? Guys, pay attention, because this is what the economy is gonna be like. going forward. And once the money printing stops, all of this will become apparent. That's what I'm saying. These numbers will be way worse than what's shown here. Okay, check out the article and read the important bit. Okay, skim through it and get the meat out the bones. Next, we've got hundreds of job cuts to come as delivery firm looks to slash cost $40 million. Guys, rapid delivery firm GoPuff is ready to lay off hundreds of employees after a 15 billion valuation last year. Some 3% of the startup's workforce could be hit by job losses, according to the information. Job cuts are included in a bid to slash annual costs by some $40 million, the news website said, citing two people close to the company. Guys, we're going to see a lot of companies beginning, they're going to start doing this in order to cut their cost. Because going forward, we've got earning week coming up. And a lot of these companies, they're not going to meet their earning targets, which means, guess what? The regulators are going to tell them, right, cut the value of your company down. That's what's going to happen. Okay, these guys will meet their earning targets, and basically what that means for them is, in order to meet their profit margin and stuff like that, they're going to cut cost. And where that is going to come from are the labor. Okay, they've already got the solution, which is automation. Okay, we've got the robots, drones, and algorithms coming to do all these jobs. And crypto is basically for these robots to communicate and transact amongst each other. We need to understand how the system is being set up, guys. That's why it's important to pay attention now. Okay, there are decentralized or automated organizations called DAOs. Those are the algorithms. They will run an entire business. Okay, these softwares will run an entire business with no human involved. You see, all the paperwork that humans shuffle around and deal with now, robots will be doing that. They'll be dealing with that, not humans. So, guys, let's pay attention. Next, we've got Eurozone inflation hits record 7.5% as slowing growth puts pressure on ECB. Guys, slowing growth. There will be zero growth, guys. This ain't a joke. There's serious pain coming, and we need to understand that. Next, we've got Germany raises prospects of power rationing with emergency gas plan. We already know Biden already approved of 1 million extra barrel to be released from reserve for the US when the US consumes 20 million barrels a day. And Biden ordered 1 million barrels a day to be released from the reserve, as if that will put a dent in the price of, uh, the fuel price over there right now. Guys, this is coming. Rationing, okay? We're gonna ration for food, energy, basically all the resources. That's why it's important to invest right now. And it's gonna be the poor people that are gonna be doing the rationing. Okay, people with money will be able to buy what they need and move on. All right, you understand what I'm saying? That's why it's important we hedge ourselves against this nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? We need to become our own financiers. Right now, there's a lot of free money going about. Invest. That's where they're pumping the money into. Invest, make some cash. That's how you're better off. That's how you're able to invest. Sorry, to buy things. Okay, that adds to the income that you have. You understand what I'm saying? And when the market go down, buy some more. Okay, invest some more. Next, we've got Treasury prepares to unveil new UK rules for crypto industry. So, guys, just a quick recap on what we had in early January in regards to UK regulatory approach to crypto assets and stablecoin. Okay, consultation and call for evidence. Guys, this is all funny stuff. They're done. All these things are ready. Okay, you just have to look at Bank of England already involved with ISO and preparing to transition over to ISO standard with the digital infrastructure in place now. So guys, all this is done. This is just laughs for laughs. So the main thing we need to pay attention to now again is if we go to page 9 just to refresh our memory. You understand? uh, so objectives, principles, and UK initiatives. So policy approach for uh, crypto asset. Treasury and other crypto asset tax authorities have identified a series of objectives and principles to guide the government's approach to regulating crypto assets. This are as follows: protecting financial stability and market integrity. This includes maintaining the appropriate regulatory standards, ensuring infrastructure is operationally resilient, and that safeguards are in place to mitigate any risk to financial stability. So basically, what we have in the current system, how the current banks are governed. Okay. Next, we've got delivering robust consumer protection. This means ensuring consumers benefit from the same level of protection they would when other regular instruments are being used for the same purpose, e.g., payments. Again, like I said, the banks, when they lose your money, you have to reimburse you. If they get hacked and lose your money, they have to reimburse you. We don't have that right now in crypto. Next, promoting competition, innovation, and supporting UK competitiveness. So basically, investment and stuff like that. So uh, another thing I was gonna point out here. Uh, mm, 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 mm. This is it right here. So right here, the government. So you got actors, activities, and requirements. You got the government's view is that regulation would apply to the firms undertaking the following functions or activities, either in terms of establishing the rules governing the activities or operating the infrastructure in relation to these activities, issuing, creating, or destroying asset linked to tokens, issuing, creating, or destroying single fiat linked tokens, value stabilization and reserve management, validation of transaction access, transmission of funds, providing custody and administration of a stable token for a third party. Guys, this is basically talking about the exchanges, okay? Uh, Executing transaction in stable tokens, exchanging tokens for fiat money, and vice versa. This is basically all uh, exchanges do right now. And yes, they will be regulated just by the way the banks are regulated currently. The exchanges are nothing but banks. If we can all see them that way, it makes things very, very easy. The new system is the principle is no different to the current system. Okay, it's just the how that's different. Okay, how things are being done. Things are now being done digitally. There's no more paper trail. Okay, no one's handing a bond, to the other person and all that. No, all of this will be recorded on blockchains. Okay, it's more efficient, it's much safer, it's more transparent. But we know they only want it to be transparent in terms of seeing what the consumers are up to, which is us are the consumers. Okay, hence why the fact that they call us consumers should let us know that they don't respect us at all. We're not consumers, we're actually the creators. We create all these things. We are the ones that are the actors within the economy that's actually building and creating and innovating. Okay, but they've taken away the power of creating money from us, and they've given it away to foreign entities. Okay, so guys, you can read this more in your own spare time and basically refresh your memory because it's fast approaching. It's coming very, very quickly, and it will be here soon. Next, we've got Brazil Central Bank quadruples exposure to Chinese yuan. So, guys, uh, we know the dollar is going down. As we've seen previously, IMF's already talked about it. They've released a report on it. And we know the Chinese digital yuan is already in operation and it's already being used amongst the, emerging markets. Okay? So the the yuan is the future of uh, reserve currency, and we know China has already, dominated 5G. They've dominated the underlying technology of central bank digital currency, and they're gonna export this out to different countries to help them set up. Okay, whoever holds you know, the knowledge to the underlying technology, that's the person that's gonna rule. You get what I'm saying? And it ain't US or Europe. So, you know, it is what it is. Next, we've got Russia's biggest bank has been cut out of the global financial market, and now it's launched a cryptocurrency. So, since Russia began its war in Ukraine, a host of restrictions have been imposed on the country, cutting it off from most of its foreign currency reserves and the global financial system. In the midst of all this, Russia's biggest bank launched a cryptocurrency. Guys, in early March, just days after the invasion began, trading in Sberbank shares was halted in London after they plummeted 95%. The lender was ordered to close its European business as Western sanctions threw Russia's economy into disarray. But just 2 weeks later, on March 17, the Russian central bank granted Sberbank a license to issue its own cryptocurrency, according to the media reports. That led to the launch of Sbercoin the same day. Guys, you see that the same day. They've already had it in the back pocket. They just launched it the same day. Guys, the technology, the infrastructure is ready. Okay? They just need the regulatory approval, the authorization, the license, however you want to put it, to basically make the switch and start using these technologies. So, guys, you're gonna see all these banks are gonna follow suit. All these banks will have their own coins. You know, the different places you go to eat, you go to do shopping, they'll have their own coin. There's already stuff similar to that. They call it loyalty points and stuff like that. You see a lot of those loyalty points, they will become digital tokens. Okay, that will have proper uh, uh, backings behind them. They'll be worth money. So when you see your local shop, like let's say Pretty Little Thing or those high street fashion, if they launch a token, hey, buy up their token, because their token is gonna blow up very very quickly. You understand? So next we've got Secure, FTX Ventures, and A16Z lead 135 million investment in crypto firm, breaking down barriers between blockchain. So, guys, we know interoperability is very, very important in this space. Okay, the future is multi chain, has become crypto's latest favorite refrain. As opposed to the mantra of one chain to rule them all, nah, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make all these different systems speak to each other. You understand what I'm saying? When you do something on one blockchain, you should be able to carry that information to another blockchain to use it with another institution for whatever reason, however they've set it up. So this blockchain company, Layer Zero Labs, that's basically part of what they're doing. There's a lot of multi-chain blockchains out there that can, a lot of blockchains out there that can speak to all the different blockchains. You understand what I'm saying? That's the future. That is definitely the future. So this is a good one to keep an eye out for. You got Secure, FTX Ventures, and A16Z. Those are big players. You understand? And last, second to the last, we've got VeChain partners Alchemy Pay for fiat payment rails and crypto on ramps. So guys, this is adoption right here. This is big news. A lot of the news we've been hearing, the prices haven't reflect. So guys, just imagine when the prices are reflected in the use cases. Things are gonna blow up. And lastly, we've got EU Parliament passes privacy busting crypto rules despite industry criticism. Lawmakers are set to end even the smallest anonymous crypto transactions and plan measures that could see unregulated exchanges cut off. Guys, we know that anyways. If you don't meet government regulations, you don't go anywhere. You understand? They don't allow you to operate within their jurisdiction. So, understand, we've set up government so we can control ourselves, and we need to make use of that shit. You understand? So with this one, as usual, they want to see everything we're doing, but they want to hide everything they're doing. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. So, anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you all listening. If you've made it up to this point, I salute you. So, with all that being said, please share with your family, friends, and loved ones. And of course, that's if you like what you're listening to and if you find it very, very beneficial. And if that's the case, please share this, because we all need to understand how the world works. We all need to know what is going on. All right. Peace, love, and light to every single one of you out there. Catch you on another episode.